Welcome to today's Explainer. So have you ever noticed something kind of bizarre happening in neighborhoods with a lot of electric cars? There's this really curious mystery unfolding right inside our living rooms. We've all been told that electric vehicles, EVs, are supposed to be pretty much entirely silent. But somehow our dogs seem to have developed this incredible superpower. They can predict the arrival of these allegedly silent cars long before they even turn the corner into the driveway. Okay, let's dive into this fascinating phenomenon and see exactly how our four-legged friends are decoding the modern soundscape. To figure this out, we need to talk about a very special dog. This explainer is actually heavily inspired by the brilliant observations of automotive journalist Mac Hogan and his dog, a husky mix named Flip. See, Mac started noticing something incredible at his house. Flip would just excitedly wait at the window, tail wagging, completely alert, long before Mac's Chevy Blazer EV was even visible on their street. So the big question is, how on earth does a dog predict an EV's arrival so accurately when we humans literally barely hear a thing?
Well, Mac actually put it perfectly. He said, and I quote, "Before I even see the house, my kickflip knows I'm coming. And it's all thanks to the spaceship hum of my Chevrolet Blazer EV." What Mac realized is that his car isn't actually silent at all. To a dog's highly sensitive ears, the supposedly stealthy vehicle is acting like a hidden predictive siren. To us, sure, it's just a faint hum in the background, but to Flip, it is a loud and clear broadcast that his favorite person is nearby.
So basically, Flip has become an obsessed, certified EV enthusiast. His superpower is specifically decoding that Chevy Blazer EV. And why? Because that highly specific, futuristic hum is the ultimate social signal for him. It means food is coming, it means trips to the dog park are imminent, it means his best friend is finally home. He's totally cracked the acoustic code of this modern machine. But how exactly does this work from a scientific standpoint?
Section 1. La Ciencia dei Suoni EV. The science behind the sound. Let's look closely at the scientific and regulatory reasons that actually make this canine acoustic superpower possible.
It really all comes down to something called AVAS, which stands for Acoustic Vehicle Alerting System. Because electric motors are acoustically transparent, which just means they're basically completely silent at low speeds, regulators actually had to step in for safety reasons. Since 2016 in the US, and through similar regulations in the EU, EVs and hybrids are legally forced to emit an artificial sound when they're traveling under 30 kilometers per hour, or about 18.6 miles per hour. Above that speed, tire and wind noise take over, but below it, this AVAS system is specifically meant to warn pedestrians that a heavy vehicle is creeping up on them.
But here is where it gets really fun. Every single car manufacturer actually designs their own AVAS sound, creating unique EV brand sound signatures. To human ears, a Tesla might sound like a slightly cartoonish spaceship. Brands like Hyundai, Toyota, Honda, and Chevy often use what acoustic engineers call pink noise, something that sounds a bit like a hoverboard or maybe a vacuum cleaner from the year 3000. We humans just tune this out as generic digital background noise, but a dog's refined hearing isolates these distinct brand-specific digital frequencies perfectly. They hear the exact, distinct musical notes of a Chevy versus a Tesla.
Section 2. Traffico contro relazione. Traffic versus relationship. Let's look at how dogs categorize these digital EV sounds compared to the traditional roar of gas engines.
Think about it like this. On the left, we have internal combustion engines, or ICE vehicles. These produce broadband noise. Unless it's a massive, rumbling V8 engine, a dog hears a generic four-cylinder Mazda or Ford as just a giant wall of sound. It gets completely ignored as background traffic. But look at the right side. Electric vehicles emit specific digital signatures. Because these sounds are so precise and distinct, dogs categorize them not as traffic, but as a relationship. The gas engine is just meaningless noise to them, but the EV hum, it's a personal text message saying, "I am here."
Now, there's a totally hilarious side effect to this, which researchers call electric Pavlovism. Dogs struggle incredibly to generalize concepts. For instance, Mac's dog Flip learned that the Chevy EV hum means dad is home. But because all Chevy EVs and even badge-engineered cars like the Honda Prologue share the exact same sound, things get very confusing on neighborhood walks. When a total stranger Chevy EV drives by, Flip will literally do a half walk. He freezes, stares intensely at the passing car with the focus of a film student watching Inception, and excitedly waits for his dad to step out. It's just pure hilarious stimulus and response.
Moving on to Section 3, Il rituale della frenata, the braking ritual. Because it's not just the steady humming noise that tips them off.
Dogs don't just react blindly the moment they hear the sound.
They actually have a highly technical waiting ritual mapped out in 3 distinct steps. Step 1 is remote detection. That's identifying the brand signature hum from way down the street. Step 2 is dynamic monitoring. This part is absolutely key. They don't just hear the hum, they perceive the dynamic maneuver of the car actually slowing down. And finally, step 3 is the behavioral response. Only when the car executes that specific slowdown do they finally jump off the couch and run to the door.
So what exactly are they listening for during that dynamic monitoring phase? It's the one-pedal driving trigger. Many EVs use intense regenerative braking, which lets you drive mostly with one pedal. When you lift your foot off the accelerator, the car slows down dramatically, and the pitch of that synthetic AVAS sound visibly drops. Dogs specifically recognize this rate of frequency decay along with the slight electric hiss of the motor regenerating power. That specific acoustic drop is the definitive, undeniable cue that their owner is stopping the car right outside their house.
Section 4, l'identità acustica canina, the canine acoustic identity. Let's say you live in a really busy neighborhood where 3 of your neighbors also own the exact same Chevy Blazer EV. How does your dog know which one is yours? Well, dogs utilize advanced sensory filtration. They act as incredible biosensory sentinels, meaning they aren't just relying on one sense. They combine the AVAS, audio, that digital frequency of the EV brand, with physical micro-vibrations. You see, EVs are incredibly heavy due to their massive batteries, so when your specific car rolls over your specific driveway pavers or triggers your specific electric gate, it creates a completely unique mechanical resonance. Your dog brilliantly combines the spaceship hum with the unique vibration of your driveway to know exactly that it's you and not the neighbor.
And because this acoustic identity is so deeply ingrained in their brains, it leads to what experts call the boomerang effect. Let's say you decide to trade in your Tesla for a Kia EV. For your dog, this causes massive cognitive dissonance. You've completely changed your acoustic identity overnight. When you pull up in the new car, your dog likely won't react at all. It requires a whole new learning cycle for them to associate this new spaceship hum with your arrival. You have essentially forced them into brand loyalty through pure sonic confusion.
This brilliantly illustrates the larger picture of what's happening here. I want to read this quote from the bioacoustic analysis we've been referencing today. The disappearance of icy noise allowed AVAS to emerge not as a disturbance, but as a predictive signal of human presence. The shift to electric mobility was originally meant to reduce noise pollution and keep pedestrians safe, but completely accidentally, we transformed a synthetic, government-mandated safety feature into a profound, highly specialized social signal for our pets.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating question to ponder. As we continue to design the acoustic future of our cities, swapping out roaring mechanical engines for digital hums and synthetic frequencies, how else might animals adapt to our digital footprints? We are actively changing the sensory ecology of our neighborhoods right now, and as our dogs show us, they are listening a whole lot closer than we ever imagined.
Thank you so much for exploring this curious acoustic mystery with us today on This Explainer. Definitely give your dogs an extra treat for their hard work, and ask yourself, as our world gets quieter to us, what invisible digital footprints are our pets already tracking? See you next time!